Howdy everybody, welcome to another episode of documenting the journey of creating Tradition Farm. So today's episode is pretty exciting because we are going to get to work on the split signage. So I've got some ideas in mind for how I want to put all together, but starting off, we are going to get some signs printed. So I bought 40 of these, quite a bit. So 40 of these 7x10 blank aluminum signs. I'm going to need 32 of them, about 4 packs of 10. And I arranged some help with the printing and design business on campus. So I'm just going to take these signs in, and I sent them what I wanted printed on all the signs, and they're going to print it with some good UV resistant ink and everything, and hopefully they'll be able to last outside for quite a while. So I'm going to go drop those off today and see when they get done, and when they get done I can get to work on the next phase of getting these signs posted outside. Alright, so it's been a little while since I've done any work on this project. I dropped off the signs to be printed probably over a month ago now, but Dad and I are working on putting the frames together for my split signs. So Dad cut all the pieces of wood that we're going to need. We're going to make 16 of these things. So basically how it works is just make a little 10x7 frame with some 2x4s, and we're pre-drilling holes and making pilot holes on some of those. And then on the bottom we've got these mounts that will just slide on top of a T-post and fit pretty snug, and just screwing those in. And then eventually when I get the signs, I will have those screwed into both sides of these, and they'll be like double-sided frames. So we're sanding all the edges of these corners of these 2x4s as well, just making sure there's nothing we can easily cut ourselves on, whatever. So yeah, it should end up pretty nice. So we're going to get to work on just hopefully getting a good system down and framing these all together and kind of assembly lining it a little bit. So I finally got my printed split signs back from the printing and design department on campus, and excited to see what they look like here. So just kind of ripped it open, saw barely part of one, but I haven't seen the full thing yet. So let's see how these things look. Pretty solid, like it. So I assume everything else should be, a lot of duplicates in there because these are going to be on both sides of the signs. But yeah, looking good. So not totally done with these yet because I do want to paint some borders around these. So yeah, that's kind of the next step here. So I'm gonna unwrap all these and see how they all look and make sure there's no errors, but looking good so far. Well, everything looks to be in order. So we've got our 800 meter loop here, forwards and backwards, and we've got our start finish signs for both directions. We've got our 1K loop for both forwards and backwards. And then I didn't do every single split for a 1600 just because that's a lot of extra signs for splits that are already shared with the 1K loop basically. So all I needed was 2 extra split signs for the 1600 loop. And then I've got all of my signs for forwards and backwards for the 300 meter straightaway. So looks good, got it all, and ready for the next step now. Okay, so here's what I've got for the process. Basically I cut out a sheet of paper that will cover most of the inside, and then I've got to use painter's tape around that, basically blocking off the inside so I can spray paint a border around the sign. So it'd be a lot easier if I could go the other way around and I was spray painting a section in the middle and using like a stencil of some sort, but yeah, I think this is going to be pretty tedious, but it's the only way I could think of to make sure I don't let the paint bleed anywhere or anything like that. So I'm trying to be as precise as I can. You know, I want to do this right, of course, but got to do this 32 times. So like I said, it's going to take a while. So let's go spray paint this, and I want to see how one turns out before I do them all. So just kind of worked on one and thinking through the process first before I get to the rest of them. Alright, so here was attempt number 1, which I was not very happy with. Just a good amount of bleeding on there. Just didn't do a good enough job with that one, but went ahead and gave it another try before I started doing a lot more all at once, and this one turned out much better. So just put a lot more effort into sealing the painter tape around the edges, and yeah, ended up working out well. So I've got all of the black signs done, which are basically everything that's going to be along the 300 meter straightaway. So I'm going to, or I don't have them done, but I have them ready for painting. So I'm going to get those out and paint them all. And then while those are drying, I'm going to work on sealing up, taping and sealing up the next round of signs. So yeah, pretty happy with how those turned out now. So just have the really rough first one, but then the rest of them are looking good. Just have some tape residue that I need to clean off, so that's much easier than paint to deal with those. So yeah, and then I went ahead and painted my red signs. I taped all those up last night, and now I'm going to finish taping up the yellow signs, which there's the fewest number of those, so will be a lot quicker this time around. I'll go ahead and show you my process for doing this as well. So the first step was to make a bunch of these cutouts. Simply just cut out an original cardboard piece and then traced around it, and then crudely cut out all these. It didn't need to be exact because this is just what covers the inside of the sign. So I've got some wiggle room to where I don't need to be exact with it. So next I lay out a long piece of tape that will be cut into strips to tape up the sign. So these are just the shorter edges of it, so I like to do 2 at a time and make these more exact, so it's a lot easier to work with the shorter edge when doing this. So These signs are supposed to be 7 by 10, but they're not perfect. So the goal is to get a 3/4 inch border around the entire sign. So it works out to be that I need to make these side strips about 5 and 19/32. So try to be as, these do have to be pretty exact because I want these to be from corner to corner perfectly. So yeah, I go through and measure these all out at once and then work on the signs one at a time with them. So now once I have the tape all measured out, basically I grab a sign and then I've got this stencil that I throw on top of it. So I just match up the edges as close as I can, and I've got holes poked in each corner here where the corners of the tape will be. So then I put a light pencil mark where those are so I know where the corners of the tape should line up to. So now I've got the side pieces of tape done on this, and I just move on to the next sign and get all of these done on the round of signs that I'm working on. Okay, now that that's done, I lay out another strip of tape, and this time I measure out 7.5 inch strips. And again, this one doesn't need to go from corner to corner. I just need to make sure the edges of these are lined up with the edges of the side strips of tape. So then once I get that done, then they're ready for painting. Okay, I lied, not quite ready to paint yet, but the last thing I need to do is to smooth out the edges of that tape a little bit with this putty knife. And then once that's done, then they are ready to paint. Definitely one of the more tedious parts of a project that I've done on the farm, but it'll be worth it to hopefully have these things looking nice. So the paint is done drying on all the signs, and I've peeled off all the tape and paper, and so job well done, I believe. I'm just really unhappy with the first one, but happy with the rest of them, so not too bad. And yeah, I guess it's time to move on to the next step, and that's securing these signs to the frames. So the process from here is simple. I just got my frames, and I've got my signs, and just lay my sign on top, pre-drill 4 holes at each corner, and then fasten it with a screw and a washer. So that's it. Get onto it, and that'll be the next step done. And that's finally it for putting all these signs onto the frames. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time left tonight to actually finish this project, but all that's left is to drive the T-post into the ground and stick those things on top. So I am going to wheel it again just to fine-tune things and make sure I'm close enough. I think most of my split flags should still be out there, but some of them may have disappeared, so just got to do that again. I think I do want to put one of these things in there just to kind of get a visual of how it looks. It's hard to not want to do this after getting it all done, so just want to do one. And that's kind of one side down. I'm not able to get this as down as far as I'd like to right now, so I need to get an angle grinder and shave off a little bit of this T-post. But yeah, I want it to fit snug but not too snug, and I don't want to break it as I'm trying to push it on there. So the ground is really dry right now too, so driving that T-post was not very easy. I'd like to maybe try to go a little deeper, but I don't know, I'm not sure. Hopefully we get some rain overnight. It's been in the forecast, but it keeps missing us, so hopefully I get something to soften up the ground a little bit, because it's been a long time since we've gotten a good rain. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna hopefully do the rest of this tomorrow. So we were picking up where we left off yesterday, and that is trying to drive T-posts. So I've delivered all the T-posts and signs to each post site, and yeah, it's really dry. We got a little bit of rain earlier today, which was much needed, but it was maybe barely over 1/10 of an inch, so I don't know if it actually helps much. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can suffer through this. I've got like 13 posts to drive after finishing the first one, so it won't be too fun, but this is like the last really labor intensive thing I have to do for summer projects, I believe, so that's exciting. Okay, this is getting kind of brutal. I can feel blisters forming on my hands. There's some areas that are softer than others, and those are not bad, but here along the south end, I think it's all gonna be pretty dry. So I don't know if I'm trying to get them all to a consistent height and get it to where the T-post driver is just like right below this split face on my shirt. But that last one, it just seemed like I was making no progress when I got down maybe, I don't know, 4 inches away or something. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get all these started. Might finish them at another time, but just want to get them all in place and at the right angle and everything. So yeah, let's keep going, I guess. Okay, finished up one more after the last one that you saw. I can't show you that one because it would spoil the secret for another project that I've been working on that I don't want to reveal yet. But yeah, this was not one of the more fun tasks that I've done at the farm. Basically, I got some of them driven down all the way, but I was just making sure I get them oriented right and in the ground far enough to where they ain't going anywhere. So I'm gonna finish that another time. Still need to get the angle grinder and grind down some of the tops of those T-posts a tad bit to help the mounts fit on there a little better. But yeah, that's all that's left for this project, and hopefully I can be done with it tomorrow. All right, time to suck it up and see if I can finish this job up right now. Brought the earphones today because my ears were kind of ringing last night by the end of all the post driving. So yep, let's get on to it and finish her up. All right, well, I'm gonna call that split sign project officially done. So pretty happy with how things turned out. I'm really surprised I didn't break anything in the process, like any of these plastic T-post mounts, or these corners of the sign were pretty close to the edge of the wood. So I was kind of wondering if I'd split any of that wood, but I was really careful about pre-drilling those holes well, and that all worked out. So I guess we'll just see how these stand the test of time, because I am curious with this wood. It shouldn't have any problem with the warping because they're such short pieces, but they probably will shrink over time. And I'm happy with how snug of a fit that these signs are with the wood, because it is kind of hollow on the inside and in the middle of these frames. So I didn't want things like getting in there and nesting in there. But if this wood shrinks over time, will that warp these aluminum signs? I don't know, we'll see. But for right now, they're good, happy with them. That's something I can always update in the future if I want to, and come up with something different and better if these don't work out well. But in the meantime, should be pretty solid. So yeah, that is like the second to last big project on the loop related, or related to the loop, that I'm done with now. So yeah, I guess that's it. I'll see you in the next video.